Hello, hello. Let's see if the stream has started. It does look like it has. Okay, so I am the Demon Forever, and we're continuing off with Disco Elysium, which I haven't played in almost a couple of weeks kind of time frame, which is never good for a story-based game. It means you can forget where you were, and that happened from part 1 to part 2 as well. So yeah, this should be fun. I do know we're at the end of day 1, and I kind of remember where we were, or what we were doing, more or less. So we'll just start pretty much with going into day 2, I think, and then going from there. Alright, let's check our audio first, so that the streaming and everything that is doing well. Yep, that sounds good. Okay, so let's head off into the abyss. Alright, so let's look at our stats. We have 2 skill points, I think we can add. I don't know what to add into. I will probably add 1 into endurance because I need it to get the body down. Not that 1 is going to do enough, but if I do 1 try, it may succeed. That means I don't have to do more. If it fails, then I can do it again with another skill point, so I don't waste 2 if I don't need to waste 2, kind of. I do want to consider buying more of these because... Wait, have I got all of them? Okay. I might use this one with Measurehead and then just forget it. I don't think it's... I don't care about Rhetoric too much, do I? Where's Rhetoric? This one. Art of Persuasion, yeah, so I can increase my learning for that. I'm not too bothered really. Okay. Conceptualization would be good though, but that's not what I get a point in that. I don't get anything else, which is fine, I guess. Too bad you don't know what you get from all these other ones. I would assume the empathy one would boost me up to a certain degree. Like it would boost empathy, like once you solved it, I think. Or not. Kingdom of Conscience should be really good though. And it's a short research time, so I don't think I will miss out on Half-Light too much. What is Half-Light? I need to remember. See, this is the thing with having not played for almost 2 weeks. Let the body take control. Threaten people. Shoot now. Ask questions later. Cops. Surprise haters. Flight or fight response. Okay. It sounds pretty interesting, and I only have 2, so if I kill off 2, like, okay. I don't know what the signature skill does. Let's see. Okay, so I have bonus from item, bonus from thought as well. Which thought bonus gives me this? Oh yeah, this one, yeah. I forgot. I don't know why I forgot that. Oops. Anything else? Item, so none of the other thoughts give me. I like electrochemistry getting +2 from items. It'd be nice if my composure was up as well, but oh well. I feel like I don't want to use my skill points until I reach a point where I'm like, you know what, I keep losing checks with composure, for instance, so I want to boost that up, for instance. Otherwise I seem to be doing fine. I don't care about certain others being down low. So we'll see. Perception. think the plan was to sleep. It's already midnight. I don't think there's much else I can do. I don't think there is. But I don't fully remember. What is my attire like? What the gloves do? Electrochemistry, okay. Okay. I do like rigorous self-critique. Lonesome Way Home. I mean, we know, this is the other thing. Does it mean we forget where we live? Is that important? I don't know. I feel like it was part of our mission to find out where we live or something. Oh yeah, and this one is for Tuesday, I think. Find the money. Okay. And once that are done, find your other shoe. Maybe I don't need to actually learn about my own where I actually came from in terms of my home and all that. Map wall. Interfacing. Why is map wall interfacing? That's weird. So many other things as well. Alright. Let's go to sleep. Because
the bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
I forgot we had voice acting.
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes.
It would be so funny if we lose like health or morale because it was uncomfortable.
And then sleep doesn't.
Oh.
And then sleep doesn't come.
Oh no. Why?
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
Check
Its
the pillow.
synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly.
Okay. Check the
barely
blanket.
Covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing.
So yeah, I also don't really know how to play Harry. I think that's his name, Harry. Because part of me wanted to play as this amnesiac person who realizes they were probably like not really a great cop and were, I guess, treated some people really badly. And maybe being the empathetic character that I'm playing, you know, you want to apologize for that and, you know, be better. But I don't. So I mean, that's not necessarily the way you have to play, obviously. But then you have all these other parts to the character, like all the political systems and all that. I had this thought out better previously, but it might come to me again. But basically, I don't really know whether to play the character in that specific fashion and miss out on other things, or should I be more, well-rounded, if you will, but kind of almost not necessarily making sense, in the sense that if we were this terrible person previously, why are we acting similar? Especially if you're kind of regretful of those past instances. Anyway.
Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily.
Okay.
It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
Really? Who killed him? Who?
Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves.
No more thoughts. Fall asleep now.
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Okay. A dream, I guess. Wait, what? Okay. Oh, we're going to the body, I guess. I like how we're wearing the same clothes. I can't see. I legit cannot see. Can I bump up the brightness? Where's brightness? Gamma correction? I don't know. There, maybe. This might give me a headache. Okay, that's... it's a disco ball. There's a button to press to highlight stuff, isn't there? Yeah. Is it the only thing highlightable, I think? Check. Yep. I like the way he runs. It's so weird.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
It's us. What is this?
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
I remember nothing.
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
Wait, what? I left? I was left. Oh, you mean... Okay. Tell me what this is. I'm not answering before you tell me who you are. Well, let's go. You said who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs between her legs and in her mouth?
Tell me what this is.
You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets, wandering. It's the worst day of all time, Harry dear. And it's coming. She will hear about it on the phone.
Okay.
Reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This will be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the love of your life?
I'm assuming I was left.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you.
Okay.
Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I can get it all back. I don't want to come back. I can get it all back?
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
What is Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Useless. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history.
Okay.
You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
Really? One person? I've seen you before.
No, you haven't. You're just sleep talking. And the act is wearing thin, too. The spots on the disco ball fade around you.
Okay.
You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time, sweating up the bed.
Okay.
Stinky boy.
I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit, thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours, bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
Okay, I'm trying to solve this case. That might help.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
Okay.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type.
Oh yes, party boy. And it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry.
Okay.
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Okay. Maybe we're annoyed by our job, like what we're having to do, day in, day out, and it's killing us mentally. Maybe we're just a broken person.
Good going, buddy.
Is that how it's going to be when I close my eyes? I don't know why electrochemistry is talking to me. Of everything that could talk to me right now.
Yes. Wait till you see the one with the chick in it. It's gonna be a good one. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
And that's something. What chick?
You don't know? You don't know? Some broad that messed you up. It'll come to you. It always does.
What the hell is going on with me?
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Why is this happening?
It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more.
Okay.
Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. So let's go see what is speed.
Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up from this floor?
Continue.
You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago. With me. To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die.
That's also weird.
Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple.
Ooh, I don't know which to take. I probably wouldn't do it anyway if I chose to opt in. The only thing is I know it can unlock the thought at least, but I don't have to do it. Or I can just say no, which would be a strong thing to say. Maybe. I doubt I will do it. Because, I mean, my electrochemistry is low. Can I have a look? Yes. My electrochemistry, actually, it's high. But the base level is low, and I probably won't be upgrading it too much. I can only put 2 points into it anyway. I love how my pain threshold is like 6 levels. Anyway, the idea being that I wasn't gonna go down this route. Yeah, I probably won't go down this route. So let's say no.
Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired.
That's a lie. I can do this without the speed. Half the town won't be dead.
Suit yourself, slow, sad shell man. See how you do without your spark.
And we end. Interesting. What is this? I feel like that's a door to Kim's room. Do I want to do this again? The mirror.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Oh, I guess I got new. That's why I can retry this. I think. I don't remember. Oh, use your chain cutters to fix the faucet. Stop steam. Oh, let's try that actually. Let the mirror be. Where's my cutter? Cutter. There you go.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Oh, 28.
In it, your face,
facing 3.
adorned with the expression.
I feel like this can wait. I think that's because I was using the D-pad there, and I remember last time trying to use the D-pad and it didn't work. Like up and down didn't work. And so then I, for whatever reason, pressed left right to kind of like confirm it didn't work, and then I accidentally used both health items because of that. Did I put it away? Alright, let's start a new day. We're going to measure head. I do wonder what's different on a given day. Do we have to go get Kim? So the reason why I didn't continue down the measure head path last time was because we didn't have Kim with us. I didn't realize we would be doing all of that. Now I don't know. I'm assuming we didn't have to do that at night. We can go back to measure head and talk to him and still open that path. So what I'm planning to do is do all that because I might get some attire or something like that to help with my endurance, and then go look at the body. Or who knows, maybe I don't even need to bring the body down to solve the mystery.
The door is closed.
I guess I can't do anything here. Hey, Kim. Wait, what? Maybe he's downstairs already. Whoa. There he is. The music is very soothing sometimes. I don't know if I like it or not because it feels very... No, no, no! Oh, well, he's caught up. Oh, well. Good morning.
Morning.
He gives you a quick nod. Continue.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
Why?
Everything points to the dock workers union. The tracks in the mud, the circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information, which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
What do you mean rowdy?
I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the union. These men here, men who drink beer for breakfast, there's talk of an armed wing of the union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for state policing. I think it's them.
Are these the men Gart told us about yesterday? I don't remember who Gart is. Or is that the bartender?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said.
Yeah, the manager, sorry, not the bartender.
One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
Alright, so there are many of them. Maybe we should call in reinforcements.
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Okay.
In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay?
Let's roll.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first.
Okay.
Yeah, streetwise. Zoom right past. Do it on your own terms.
Okay.
But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
Yes.
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Thank you. When will they leave? Like, is there a time period when they will leave? Because, you know, they might not be here tomorrow. Hey, bartender. Manager, sorry.
Can I help you?
About my bill for tonight.
Got the 20 real?
No, I do not.
Then why are you wasting my...
Hello, lady.
Just a moment.
Okay. The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
Yeah, apparently there aren't phones really here.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Same here.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Howdy, Lena. What's kicking?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working.
Interesting.
A faint smile tells you she appreciates the effort, but at the moment her mind is on more serious matters.
I do like empathy. I feel like suggestion is very close as well. No, I guess suggestion is telling you what to say.
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
So wait, what's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
This is the one thing I will say, like, it was kind of obvious that we would go ask God. So, yeah, do we really need that prompt? Some of these easy prompts are kind of, they're like tutorials, if you will. But as part of the game, rather than an obvious tutorial. I don't know how to feel about that. Anyway, why did you need to use the phone?
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them.
Okay.
I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Okay, Albite, has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
Okay.
But you have more important things to worry about.
What is this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
The waterlock. That was broken. Could this be it?
Oh. Okay. That's why he's there. Yeah, that's that. Wait, who's this Gary person? Do you trust him?
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
The waterlock to the other side of the coast is broken. They are probably just stuck over there. Imagine if you had failed that logic. Maybe if you were really, really bad in your stats, it'd be actually kind of interesting. The waterlock, yeah, so they're probably stuck over there.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
Wouldn't you know, it's blocked by a big butter billboard. Yeah, I was gonna laugh at that. It fell right into the water.
Oh, sweetie. If it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I mean, he might still not come back today. So, yeah.
You're welcome, ma'am.
What, Kim? You did nothing.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
Okay.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect.
Fine by me.
Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
We can name it this new bug. I'd like that.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
Has it been repaired? Or do we have to repair it? I guess I'll have to go and see. Maybe I will just naturally repair after a few days someone comes and repairs it. Anyway, if I see him, I'll let him know you're here when or if I get there.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
So your husband is some kind of scientist. You might have told us already.
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
And what is that?
It's a pseudoscience that
Pseudoscience.
attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
Are they? Are they though?
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
Is it her hobby as well?
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious.
Okay.
Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
Preach, lady.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Ooh. +1, less worried about husband. Nice. What's the medium? So 11. Yeah, so it's very, very high chance that I will succeed. So let's do this first. Tell me more about Morale. Looks, character, your relationship.
Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin.
What does he look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
The one thing that's a shame of having the game like in this point of view is that you rarely get to see all these I guess descriptions in person in 3D. Maybe in the portrait you can, but that's going to be very tricky as well, I think. Maybe there are some mannerisms that you might be able to see, but I feel like I won't be able to recognize him from this description myself. Maybe the character will.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
It's always a challenge to describe the person the person you know best in the world. That's interesting. I mean, I guess that's true. And you don't want to stereotype, and you don't want to focus on like certain characteristics that, even though they may stand out, they may not be the things you want to focus on. Like you want to tell people about this person that you're really close to, and like I'm assuming also very fond of, and you want to talk about all the positives and like even the hidden stuff that you can't necessarily see straight away. So yeah, I get that. Let's try again. If I were trying to meet him on the street, what would I look for?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
So that's going to be more easier to see.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins
Aww.
jotting down the
Okay.
woman's description.
So even Kim is in on like doing this investigation. That's kind of cool because we've not actually talked about whether we should take this on, but he's okay with it.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
That could be handy. So how long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
I guess because I'm a detective, I'm going to be asking this, although it's kind of weird. How did the two of you meet?
By a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say.
No, that's
I
okay.
was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he'd just divorced.
I do like her voice, that raspiness to it. Sells it.
We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She smiles wistfully.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
Yeah, I don't know why that's a reaction speed check, but okay. I think I have all the information I need. Let's move on.
I hope I've been useful.
Tell me more about this rare insect.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Oh, he's not done with this. No, I want to hear it.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but...
Ah yes, Phasmatodia. A diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially.
Colloquially.
Oh yeah. Here comes the interesting.
Yep, continue.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast.
Interesting.
Hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers.
Okay.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
Hey, man, dude, like, you know, you want to follow me around. You want me to lead the investigation. So, we're doing this.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
What makes you think the phasmid is around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
So a newspaper clipping is all the evidence you have?
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
So is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
I mean, to like pounce on something? Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
Does it have cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years. Centuries, even.
Okay. What's so special about this stick bug, then?
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special.
Okay.
Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids. Okay. I'm guessing this is just going to be some random facts.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
That's what I was thinking as well. Hey Lena, I'd like to hear about some of the cryptids you've studied. Could you just tell me about a couple of them?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
This is where the game kind of like becomes really long. Like, I think I've played 8 to 10 hours already, and I've just gone day 1. That's it. I'm just talking to people, and I kind of like it, but there's a lot to take in, especially with the backstory of the world, of the city, and I guess the surrounding nations, if you will, and the history, the present, and potentially the future. So that's cool, but it is a lot. It's like reading a book basically. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of descriptions, and a lot of this sort of like side content here as well. And I feel I miss out by not playing more often. Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too. Okay.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
Oh, cryptid extravaganza. I like the sound of that.
And I don't. Just one.
Okay.
Or he'll be disappointed in you. Ooh, tough choice there.
Ooh. Wait, what? Oh, okay. So we can do many. I feel like if I go for invisible, that's just be the same thing that we talked about. Tiniest, biggest. Let's go dangerous.
The gnome of Jeroma.
The gnome of Jeroma. That sounds terrifying.
Oh, yes. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
Damn, what did this cryptid look like?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. Quite scary to look at.
Okay.
A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it.
So an insect is wailing in the woods, okay.
It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
Okay.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of this very little species?
Did the venom destroy itself?
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
So we asked about one. We'll do as we'll follow what Kim said and end it there.
Of course, dear.
That's all for now. So let's see if this dude has anything to share. What to
Can
say?
I help you?
Oh, where's the... Ah, I thought he'd have some comment about the phone lines. I don't think I've asked that previously. Ooh, what's this? Oh, okay.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
I'm not quite sure his name is actually Garasi Cuba, but okay. Do you know what's behind that door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
I feel like we're just making some of this up. Okay. Titus! It's all about the money. What is that? So she's not part of it, I don't think.
Let me handle this.
Oh yeah, she was the gardener outside. Yeah, okay.
Detective disorientated. Are you still wondering where you are? This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten. I advise you not to overstay your welcome.
I wonder if we didn't talk to her if she'd had a different line there. Or maybe she might have heard it from someone else, or just assumed it as well.
Her entire character has shifted. This young woman is cold as ice.
I see, you lied to me, you're not a gardener. Yeah, okay.
That's right. I am not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
Okay.
So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that will help you? Maybe he does.
Okay.
That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
This whole system is weird.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
You tell her, Kim.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What is your role in all this?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
I wonder if talking to her messes up the fact that we're not talking to them. Also, we're not power moving it and walking out. Anyway, what if I want to talk to you, not Titus?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
I saw what you were thinking. You want to say, what are you going to do to me? Don't. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean you have to say it.
Really?
You will not lose out on anything good by not saying it.
Oh, that's a weird way of saying it. You will not lose out on anything good by not saying it. I'm surprised authority doesn't want us to like be aggressive. What's volition? Keep your morale up. Assert yourself. Yeah. Weird. Anyway, why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
Who am I asking? Am I asking Elizabeth? Let's go with this one.
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
Let's leave. No, I'm not going to talk to him. Power move there. Oh, you saw it. You saw it happen live. Can I actually, I forget if I can do anything.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Let's press this one.
Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you.
Okay. Entrance from building B.
Silence. No one answers your call.
Okay. Are these idiots still here? Oh, they're gone. Oh no, wait, he's still here. Is he wearing less clothes?
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all It does now.
I like the +1. You've waited long enough. I need my endurance to be like, I don't know, 8 or something. To even have, like, to have a high chance. Like 6 is probably going to be medium. You might be staying up there another day, dude.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
Oh, okay. Can't go there. Alright, let's go to Measurehead. I think there was a thing we could ask Kuno. I don't really know if I want to though. It's very annoying talking to him. And the girl.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Ooh, empathy legendary. I back down. Ooh, damn. Okay. This is interesting. Okay.
Kuno doesn't.
I will see what we can do with that, because I should be able to boost up my empathy a bit. And then, maybe get something, that was weird. Was that like the shadow moving? Oh, they're moving around, that's why, I think. But yeah, the whole thing with the empathy, I might be able to get some thoughts to help me go, yeah. So let's look at the thoughts again. Oh, the jam mystery. Oh, okay, I thought, okay. I thought when it said jam there, like actual, you know, peanut butter and jam. It's like strawberry jam. Find morale, the cryptozoologist. We wanna work. Are you still here? Let's talk to this guy.
Right to work! Right to work!
Alright. Let's do this just in case we fail, we'll see. Save, new save, because it's been a while.
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Why are you not with the Hardy Boys?
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading.
Interesting, interesting.
The Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the Union alone. And I do this out of race heroism. Finance is an alien concept to the Simonese.
Wait, what? Isn't the Union the company? Some of this is confusing to me.
Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my woman.
I think I know what the race enigma is.
And
It's shit. Was that there before? Paradoxically, you plan to supersede the Occidentals with their own race theory. This risk-off is what rich people want us to do while they get all the money. It's just something you shock people with, liberal and progressive people. It's whatever you want it to be. It's a free association language exercise. Degenerate, race hero. It's about you being conflicted about your girlfriend, Koshka, isn't it? I don't know about the rest, but it's clear I should stop drinking the ancient Ilmarian mind poison alcohol. This dump is ready to be superseded by the Arapagai superstate. I can serve as a clerk in your administration. You must send a call. So I don't know if any of the other answers will actually work. I know that works, so let's try some of the others. I wonder how many chances we get as well. But I just saved anyway, so it's whatever.
Look, babe. When confronted with the harsh truth of his demise, the melancholic academician starts fiddling his own genitalia. His bald spot betrays that he is a compulsive masturbateur.
Okay.
That's disgusting, Jean.
Okay.
It is. Beneath the veneer of academic jargon, the liberal theorist is a beast, a sexual maniac, and a deprived nihilist. Life is a game to him. Words are meaningless. No one is accountable for anything.
Okay.
Nihilistic sex maniac. I take pity on your urges. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad, like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. I can press the button for you. It will open the door.
Ooh, I can do this as well. Okay. That's all I wanted.
Very well. You may enter the door once.
Finally.
You know what? I'm gonna redo that and keep the one I did last time, which was the empathy one.
The unpromising. I am not the hardy. Now leave me be. And look, babe. When confronted with the demise of his entire race, the bourgeois alcoholic degenerate focuses on gossip. Other people's lives are a refuge for him from the burning race wreckage of his own.
That's just tactless, Jean.
Effeminate gossip monger. I take pity on your tabloid-driven urges. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad, like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. I can press the button for you. It will open the door.
Okay, so I think last time I didn't realize that this was saying you'll find another way. Yes, yes, keep hiding your insecurities, whatever. I'll find another way into the harbor. Interesting, actually. I wonder if there is. I mean, I guess there is another way. I don't know. That's all I wanted. I do like that we used the empathy to get this. That's just why I've gone back to it.
Very well. You may enter the door once. Our race conversation here has concluded.
Continue.
Finally. Let's go.
Wait. I want to talk to him again.
The unpromising race pupil return.
Okay. Can I walk around? No. Alright, Kim. I came all the way back here during the day to do this with you. Oh, I was going to say, I wonder if there are people here now that it's during the day, but luckily, no. They're all gone. Dear writer. Every worker a member of the board. And at the bottom, the union logo and demand democracy. Take money. Wait, what? Postcard Lejardin. Okay. Let's see what that is. Laminated postcard offers a glimpse across the river. A little more than a decade after the war, the eastern bank is already fully renovated. The hillsides are lush with gardens and residences. Someone's parked a small beige airship by the fountain. This postcard will sell for a pretty penny. No, it doesn't. Fume, volume 104. Leading intellectual organ of Martinez communism, offers a radical Mazovian perspective on a range of contemporary issues. The cover features a stylized portrait of the late King Faisal with a pair of white antlers growing out of his head.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the because Faisal was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
flip through the pages.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white.
Okay.
After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents.
Okay.
The magazine is divided into several sections: international developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
Read the editor's note.
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal alla fume. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers.
Interesting.
So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
Kim, I think this is a communist magazine.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
Very true.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Let's catch up on international developments.
This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
What is constant culture?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture.
Kunst und Kultur.
As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective.
Read the profile.
This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer. That certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you from her balcony.
Interesting. Just a moment, what is this tip-top 20?
The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing.
Ah.
If you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships and obscene death toll.
Alright, let's see what these communists have to say.
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colourful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée.
Okay.
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes.
So, who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has two bylines: Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. There's no way those are real names.
Wait, they aren't?
Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms.
I mean, to be fair, I don't remember much anyway. What's so bad about sponsorship?
Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity. Thus, The so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a fritter.
Right, but then you get to see them crash.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for.
No, I'm pretty sure I like it for the racing.
Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave.
I guess I never thought about it that much.
That's because you haven't been reading critically. But don't worry. The whole point of these sorts of articles is to let someone else read critically for you.
So we ask him.
Oh, come on. Can this article read your mind?
It seems to think so.
A certain kind of young man reads 1 or 2 books and suddenly thinks he understands the secret structures of reality. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You know what I was just thinking? Like if we ignored the whole like the backstory to the game, the world building, and just flipped through everything, ignored it, just tried not to go in detail, and then made assumptions as we played the game. I wonder how interesting that would have turned out. Yeah, it could have been interesting actually.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
And then you can do that on your like first playthrough, and then your subsequent playthroughs you can actually go through all this to understand the world better, to understand the world building better. And maybe it makes no difference. Maybe all of this is just filler information. Let's see what they mean by local concerns.
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike.
Continue.
You skim the headlines. Paint the harbour red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
So this is what I guess is why I came out being politically neutral in my previous conversations, because some of these options are just like whatever to me. Like saying, damn communists should have killed a lot of them if it weren't for the wild pines. All those moochers would be out of a job. Charging rents to live somewhere is pretty outrageous. Wouldn't it be better for everyone if labor and the capital could reach some reasonable accommodation? Why should I care? This doesn't have anything to do with me. That's what I'm going to say.
The eternal problem, according to G. Martin, is that under capitalism, the worker is rendered incapable of perceiving their own agency or lack thereof.
Continue.
Thus, they tend to experience their own oppression as though it were happening to somebody else.
I see.
Is that true? Have you felt estranged from your own self recently?
I like how Inland Empire is confused.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table...
Oh yeah, I forgot that was an interaction. Someone left the coffee machine on. The dark liquid looks sentient, sorry. Standard office. Door seems to be locked. Let's go in here. Take all. Can I wear that? Minus drama plus visual calculus. Oh, -1 drama, sorry. But visual calculus goes up, so I'm done with that. So I can even further increase my conceptualization. I forgot about that. I need to remember what I have that I can change into. Spirit of the core, electrochemistry. Okay. Take. So can I open this with something?
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Very true.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks.
Open.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders.
Browse through it.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
So, volition. Ooh, high chance. So, white check. How much is it? 10. I will need 6. So, 3, 3. I could still fail though. I could put a point into volition. So, is my volition kicked down by anything? No, just this basic. Wasn't there something about authority and volition just now? Oh, so still the only task for Tuesday is this. I guess, but I guess some of these are being updated as we go along. Anyway, so yeah, I said I was gonna kick this one off. So let's forget it. Okay. Oh. I didn't realize I would lose a skill point because of that. That's like double. Oh, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. Let's not do that one yet. Let's do indirect taxation. Okay. This might get us some money, which is important. Okay. Okay. Oh, that sucks so much because I would have just opened one and kept. Oh, that's so annoying. I didn't realize that's how that worked. Can I? Can I load a quick save? No, it's further away. Ah. We can do this if we... Oh, can we come back though? This is a white check. You may retry it. However, we may not be able to come back here. I see why people might actually like save scum. It's too bad you can't remove points. I mean, it's only an extra 1 point. It's screw it. Let's do this.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out.
Wait, what?
Materials coming
Oh.
in, and the same material. You already went through all of these. Look how blurry all the lines on these pages are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing.
So, but even with 1 point, that wouldn't have worked. That was just 3 plus 5 would have been an 8.
Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetically more pleasing.
Could I actually focus through not focusing?
You are a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and not letting go.
If I let my eyes go completely out of focus, all shapes start melting into each other.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there?
Let's just get back to work.
My thought exactly, officer. Shall we?
Wait, what? I can do it again. Straight away? Yeah, boy.
You're trying
Are you
hard,
serious?
but the data here is unbelievably dry. Something about containers.
Ah.
The drawer slides shut smoothly.
Kim, that was so annoying. Kim? And it autosaves. Now it autosaves.
Yes?
Oh, that was so annoying. Okay.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change." The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move.
Well, let's just try it, I guess. I'm not gonna really get anything out of interfacing. I'm not really gonna upgrade it, so just go and see.
It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns in the air.
That's kind of the same, isn't it?
Undoubtedly, no.
I might try this again
Sure,
later.
why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing.
Yeah. That dice roll would have helped just now, though. Ooh, can I take that?
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. The white rectangle of the Revachol Citizens Militia is clearly visible on its back. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Lieutenant, I think that's mine.
Yes. It does bear the RCM insignia. And we are the only detectives in Martinez.
You think I should get it?
The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, yes I do.
I do like how our interactions with Kim almost border on being like a kid talking to like a teacher. Grab the cloak.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort through your fingertips. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours. That's what the cloak is relaying.
Let's look at that in terms of this. Ooh, taking back the streets, sorry. And know thy neighbor. So I guess it will replace the jacket. Oops. Which is conceptualization. Yeah, okay, I'll take these two for now. I forgot about this. Yeah, I'll wear this for now. Oh, I can't walk that way. Okay. Okay. Collecting rainwater. Cigarettes. Commodore Red. Potent Pilsner.
Snow is quietly covering the numerous wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really hard here.
Wait, how hard?
Well, they went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles of Commodore Red, and almost 4 packs of cigarettes. It must have been pretty hard.
Did I do this?
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you.
This is really sad. I must have been miserable.
Yes, this scene isn't exactly ripping with joy. Let's just move on.
Wait, what? Was it? Okay. I thought there might have been something to get there.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
So this is where Renee works. Oh yeah, that was the guy who was playing that bull game.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table.
Take the picture.
It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, René, is dressed in a Royal Carabinier uniform. The girl is young and very pretty. She is smiling playfully at the camera. René looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be tied to some good memories.
Why did you take that picture of René?
A backup is instinctual to collect evidence.
Fine. But let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around here.
Why? What are you worried about?
This is the night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it'd be weird if I could go down there. Great machines and crescents. White pine trees are printed onto the screen covering. Looks like a forest under snow. No idea where we're going actually. Whoa, that was quick. Caval suit. I feel like this thing on top of us, cargo, could fall onto us if we're not careful. Oh, I can't go that way. Can I go this way? It's so weird. Like, it's so hard to see, to know which way we can and can't go. Which? Wait, I forgot to press the button to see what's interactable. Back. Take all. Money. Item. Ooh, we can sell it. Revachol Fair. Summer of 91. This speaker tower is silent. There is no work to organize in the yard below. The musk of oil and rust comes from the chasm in front of you. Smells like blood. Blood. Can I use this maybe? I don't know how, but I can. Ooh. Half-light, unfiltered contact versus electro, isn't it? For ultimate performance efficiency, these Fawn Ultra Series gloves come fingerless and with a grippy padding covering the palms, making these ideal for quadrupedal movement or for lifting cargo. Just wear them for a bit and put away the tool. I need to remember that for like doors, maybe you can use it for that. Oh, money. Wait, did I take the money? Did I not take the money? I see money. Take it all. Might have a place to stay tonight. Oh no. Did he see me? The banner sags under the weight of rain and snow. White waves on red. Hey there.
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, put the logos on.
Okay.
The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisunt on Muindi.
Okay.
Container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, now belongs to Everard. Everard, he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
You can shut up.
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an arsehole for no apparent reason.
For no reason?
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
What is it with people and scabs?
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
Okay.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
Sure. You're Ubi, right?
Oh, yes. Born and raised in Arish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then. Too old to lose my accent then.
The new world.
People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir. Those are just nasty rumors.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
What are you doing with the containers?
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
Okay. This is a red check. Ooh. Again, I'm not quite sure if red checks can be retried. Not retried, but if I can come back and do it another time. Sure, let me ask you about something else.
Sure, mister. About what?
Where is everyone?
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
What kind of trouble did this Titus and his friends get into?
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off.
So they could have just murdered someone.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
But what did they actually do?
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
Wait, what? So suggestion just said, don't go bad cop. This sounds like bad cop. Too rowdy. Leo, what kind of fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary? Okay, Leo, let's hear about this fight you got into.
I remember I was the runt of the class. The bigger boys always used to pick on me. You see, I had a bit of a temper back in the day. Flew off the handle like nobody's business. But Mr. Everett and his brother always came to help. Once they beat
So
old
he's known him for a
Becker
while.
so bad
Okay.
he needed stitches on his head. Noel never started another fight with anyone after this. Mr. Everard and Mr. Edgar are real nice guys, mister. You should go talk to Mr. Everard. I'm sure you'll be good friends. He's friends with everyone around here.
You're never getting anything useful out of him. It's good enough you found out Everard has a brother called Edgar, and he helped Leo.
They're twins, right, if I remember. Do you work here?
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is away. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes I am, yes I am.
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
Okay. Hold on, who is this Miss Beaufort?
Oh, Lizzie. She is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly.
Wait, is that the gardener?
But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his eyes.
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years she has.
Law school? Could she be talking about the union fixer, aka the gardener?
Aha.
Looks like it.
I'm not sure what a fixer is, but she is a real nice girl. Smart as a whip too.
What's in the container over there? Pointing to the container suspended from the crane arm.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
I'm looking for the leader.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
Easy now, Leo. I just want to know where I can find this man.
Oh, Mr. Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course.
Okay.
Bye-bye now.
It's a long conversation. Oh, okay. Is this his office? No. Coffee. Is still what? Is Kim writing something? That was weird. Wait. How am I? Wait, what? Oh, it's stairs. The taxidermy fish that tells time. Let's do a savey. New save.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you.
Continue.
With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you.
Are you in charge of the dot workers?
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
Harry Dubois.
I'm Everett Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez.
So he knows us, but we've never met before.
I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up.
That
You understand?
that sucks.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
Whatever.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Why are you calling me Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out. He's trying to throw you off your game with this Dubois nonsense. Don't give him the pleasure.
I'll take a seat, whatever.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
He gives you a sly wink. Damn, this chair's uncomfortable.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world.
Okay.
It's violating your backside.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say.
Didn't expect to lose a life there, but okay.
This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically huge.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Okay.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Wait, you know Gart?
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Ooh, that's interesting. It's only 25 real though. Just give me like a day. Keep it, I'm good.
Okay, okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts then.
Well, I mean, not from you. Like, some people can give me handouts, you know. I'll just take it from like your office, but like no handouts specifically from you.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
It feels like the lost gun is with a woman, wasn't it? Part of me thought it was the gardener / lawyer lady, but it might be with the drug dealer lady. I forget what her nickname is. It might have just been Lady, actually. Something like that. Anyway, continue.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
Losing morale too. Okay. How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right.
Interesting.
It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
I am super not trusting this dude. That sounded like someone's tummy was rumbling. But anyway, I'm super not trusting this dude. Because I'm trying to think what I'm considering is the fact that we had this whole sequence of partying and going overboard and having amnesia. Could this have been influenced by him, is what I'm thinking. Okay, let's just continue for now.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Oh, can I do composure? No. The chair is killing you. -2. This is a red check. It cannot be retried. Okay. See, I wanted my composure to be high. It is challenging though. It is 12. It needed to be super high. I wonder how you can get super high at this point. I only had like what? 3 or 4. No, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 6 skill levels, I think. That would have given me good composure, and if I didn't sit. If I hit a 12, you know what? I'm due, and if I fail, I can get my life back, I think. Let's do that attempt. Oh wait, it's -2 as well, so I actually need like 11 minimum. Whatever. Do it.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
Hey, I healed myself though. I'll take that. No, I'm not about to cry.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
Continue.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
Keep sliding down.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Continue.
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
It just sounds so stupid. Like, I feel like it's kind of obvious that he's calling you your real name, really. But anyway, I feel like that would be the wrong thing to say. That too. I'll just say this. Actually, the chair is uncomfortable. I could use that glass of water.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions.
This is a weird sequence.
It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Do I really want to talk about these 2 things? I feel like I'm just going to affect my morale again. Anyway, let's do this first. Aren't you going to ask me about how I got in?
Honestly, I didn't want to bring it up, Harry. I heard you have become Measurehead's race pupil.
Yeah, I'm a big racist. It was a tactic. I needed to get in somehow.
Of course, Harry. Of course. You're not some kind of a fantastic racist now. And rest assured, no one's going to hear about it. No one's going to know what you did with race there, Harry. Your race bonanza is safe with me. Word of how racy it got will never leave Martinez.
Oh, he's annoying.
Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
I met Joyce.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along.
That's weird.
One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Just pals?
Yes, we're all trying to do what's best for Martinez. Don't feel like you shouldn't work with her just because you and I are such good friends. I'm not a jealous guy.
Whoa, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice.
Are you sure? I find it a little odd.
I'm just a nice guy, Harry. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about emotions, and I want you to have positive emotions when you think of me.
What happened to the previous negotiator?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
He made concessions for the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let an ally like that go?
He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left.
He called him a midget.
Harry! I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Yeah, funny she didn't mention that. Oh, wrong button. I don't know why I pressed right to, like, as a confirmation that I wanted to pick option 1. I don't know why I did that.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in its expression or demeanor now.
Why haven't you let her in to see you?
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization.
Okay.
I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret.
I also feel like that means that whatever we talk to her about isn't a secret either to him, and he will find out.
Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gum. Tell her about everything. Everett doesn't mind.
I want to talk about the hanging.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you.
Continue.
I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me.
Say nothing.
But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Okay.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
Kim, is that true?
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
Everyone's trying to play us.
The stars aligned into a cosmic frown here. He has your fate decided. Bide your time, however. and let the stars continue their course, and that frown shall turn into a smile. Only if you play along.
Whoa, that was interesting. Why don't you just open it yourself?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. You know, my endurance is only 2. I almost died sitting on the chair. The whole thing with the Inland Empire is interesting, actually, what I just said. Just trying to like think about that.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
Whose door is it?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
It sounds... yeah, I hate the vagueness of it. What do you mean by a weasel?
A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you.
Is this the weasel that, you know, the guy that was smoking that we were going to talk to in the apartment?
Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez.
I can't accept this thing. Refuse the task for now.
Of course, Harry, I understand. But if that's the case, I don't think we'll ever find your gun. Even worse, we won't be able to speak like equals about the murder. Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. Know that you can always come back to me. I really hope you do. For your sake, my sake, and for your gun's sake too.
Yes, we both understand what you meant.
This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should reconsider later.
Though the union is involved in the local drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny Fat Guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
No comment.
Harry, you wound me, Harry, in the heart. But I trust you to put this to bed. Do what you must, and let's change the subject, shall we?
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
But Kim just arrived as well.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
We're gonna leave.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate.
Thanks.
Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
Can I sell it? Auto-saved. I don't know how that went. Can I go this way? No. Oh, I'm so confused by the layout. My dude.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
I'm fine with this lock. Plus, as a game, I can just easily interrupt him anyway. I have some questions.
No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes. Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Sure, mister.
Okay, we can do that red check again some other time. Let's look at our journal maybe. What do we do now? Okay. Smoke around the balcony after 9. Yeah. I mean, it sounds obvious like the guy does. Everyone does. Actually, wait. Interview the union boss. Okay. Also, it tells you when you did it as well. You did it on the Tuesday. Okay, cool. Stat wise, what are my thoughts at right now? How far am I? Good. I might actually spend one to unlock this actually, and I might do Kingdom of Science. Yes. And I will lose half-life, but that's fine. How much of... So 42 minutes left of indirect. Okay. It feels weird to have to walk all the way back. Now we can go to the Union Titus. I don't know if I will do that this session. I feel a bit... My head feels a bit weird, to be honest with you. Ooh.
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block. Marsh. On. Arrête. Off.
Press Arrête.
Crane stands tall, proud, erect, and still.
Press Marsh.
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Okay. Okay.
And with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled.
Its purpose? What do you mean?
Moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose it has acted. And now it will rest.
Okay.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
I mean, can we do anything here? That's what I was thinking.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Lieutenant, I think there's something special in this one.
Is this like your thing with that wall again?
What wall? Was he there when I saw the wall? I can't remember now. He wasn't there when I did the thing at night. Maybe earlier in the day. Maybe, I can't tell. I think we should investigate further.
Because I don't.
Why not?
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
It was hanging from the crane.
You just picked one out because you wanted to interact with a cargo container. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
Knock on the door.
No reply.
Open the door.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Let's go.
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because getting physical wasn't an option.
Because what wasn't an option?
Using my body over my wits.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
Aha. You've given me the option now, haven't you? Alright, don't blame me when I come back to do this later then. Okay, so that's interesting. Up here. And then here. And then... Oh, what is... Can I do... Can I get down there? That's interesting. And like, how do I get up here as well? Interesting. I feel like because I changed the gamma earlier, that's maybe what's giving me a bit of a headache. Anyway, so we've got the phone now.
The already familiar cold touch of plastic.
I failed it, I forgot. And we can't do this either, can we?
The file cabinet stands steady as ever, and the unlocked drawer slides out to the drawer.
Damn you, Volition. So, I can just... Oh, there's money up there. How did I get up there?
So, how'd you like our harbor?
Nice enough.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Any idea who killed the hangman?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
The harbor is a prime area of suspicion. In your opinion, are the dock workers involved?
What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
Pushed how?
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
Wait, what does that mean?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Did you kill him?
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
Okay.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
Okay. Oh. Old lady still here? Not here. Here. Yes, she is. I doubt she has anything new to say, so I think I can cross over here. Yeah. It's weird how that's behind that monument, so it's not as easy to just notice that it's there. Ah, so the truck is back now. That's interesting. Might do a save of the one we did there. That's fine. This might be the last thing I do for this session.
You see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the...
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Let's connect to Sylvie again.
Just a second, officer. Sylvie Malaika. Yes. Hello?
Hey Sylvie, it's police again.
Oh, great. What else do you need, detective?
Oh, nothing new. Okay, never mind.
You hear the cord breaking up.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
Do I need the 41st?
10-4, come in. Firework.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. You're going to be looking...
10-4, sir, I'm not hearing your question.
Please refer to me with my full name.
10-9, repeat message. I didn't get that, sir. Over.
Stop calling me sir.
What? He seems intoxicated.
Mullen's drunk and emotional.
Wrap it up. Don't indulge in his drunken antics.
Have I ever told any news about my own family?
Then,
You probably don't want to continue on this road.
No, let's go.
No sir, I haven't. You're not really keen on mentioning your home life, so I've always assumed things weren't that good on that front. Over.
Have I ever told you about my life before?
10-4, well that's Does he actually want something or is he helping? He asked if he ever told me about his days before joining the RCN.
For God's sake, cut this shit out! Tell him to stop wasting time and be a goddamn policeman for a change.
Sir, satellite officer. So, was there anything else?
Fine.
Understood, sir. Over. Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
So that wasn't that helpful. We need to go interview the union people, obviously. Let's look at our thing again. Find morale, add more beauty, pissing competition, find booze, jam. What's the main story then? Track down guns, smokers. Smoker's the main one, I think. How come there's nothing about the union stuff? Maybe we can just get that. Ooh, who this? A good one?
Yes? Hello?
Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
Funny.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Shouldn't a working class woman be working?
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Good.
It is.
I'm a policeman. Do you need the help?
What with?
Maybe your husband is missing?
My husband? No, he's not.
So where is he?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
Sounds good.
Where is this going, officer?
So what I'm hearing is you don't really know where your husband is.
Yes, but I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
Wouldn't you like to?
No.
I can totally help you find your missing husband.
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband.
She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay.
Oh, it's so funny. It's okay.
What?
It's alright to not know where your husband is. Nothing shameful in that.
Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me. My husband is not missing.
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then.
Maybe your children are missing.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so where are they?
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
I police whatever I want.
They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance.
They're at home, right? Smoking.
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Shamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now. My youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. But we shouldn't even be talking about them.
Can you describe that? I don't know where this is going either.
Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're in Shamrock, safe and well, at some stupid party?
I do find it stupid funny that we can continue saying this is for the investigation though.
There is no investigation here. I can tell you that.
Maybe a cockatoo is missing.
I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get like this. It's better to indulge him at this point.
I was asking about your cockatoo, ma'am.
I don't even have a cockatoo. And guess what?
Alright, cockatoo not missing.
Great.
Just one more question. What did you mean by me being a cockatoo?
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Wonderful. The store is open.
Watch her browse books.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
Aha, smoking.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
That was a random conversation. What was that? Journal. Find your heraldic bird. I need money for that, and I need to pay. Oh, man from Hemdal in the wildfire. Okay. It's a René. René.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Case solved.
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
Wait, what did I crack exactly?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
It's the missing husband.
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit.
Give me champagne.
There's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found right now.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing.
Well, I found him nevertheless.
Very well then. Where is he?
There.
Excuse me? I don't follow.
There's something else hiding in her voice though. A trace of worry.
I found a working class drunk and I thought he might be yours.
Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
What?
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one.
Ah, I was close.
Ah, blam. Knew it.
But you told me your husband's alright.
I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic.
So is he missing as well?
No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park, or in Shamrock somewhere. Drinking with his friends.
Okay, this is getting sadder.
I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
There. She's worried now.
Don't worry, I'm going to find him and bring him home.
She sighs, but you can detect a slight hint of gratitude and relief from her face.
What? What? Okay. I am so confused. Maybe she just wants us to bring his ass back and stop him from being like drunk outside. I am so confused.
Alright, go ahead. Do you have any questions?
What does he look like?
Honestly, not that different from you.
Ooh. So let me guess, he's disco?
Oh, thank God, no.
Oh.
It hasn't come down to this yet.
So why did you say he resembles me then?
Well, he's slightly chubby.
I see.
What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself. It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change. I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
Well, the jacket's really that cool.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
So he really is just like a bum in a park.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or on the coast. And it's making her more and more worried.
Damn, Empathy. You really worked in this one.
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home.
Because of what Empathy said was why I kind of like went down this conversation, even though I was kind of joking about it really, but apparently it's gotten somewhere. Anyway, continue.
Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
Gone for around 36 hours then. Damn, this is a missing persons case. She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
I think I got it. Thanks.
So you are going to look for him?
She genuinely wants you to know. Don't make her ask.
Yes, I will bring him back home to you.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
Oh.
I will, of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
Damn. That. Oof. Damn. Whoa.
Indirect
what? Oh, yeah.
methods of taxation.
Thought complete.
Turns out, those Financial Oversight Committee gangsters stuffed millions of hard-earned dividends away in the last place anyone thought to look. The hearts and minds of everyday Riversholians. You need to spread that deregulation gospel to the people. Tell them about that foreign fair tax. Preach that 98% gross burden. Preach it, preacher man. Set the brothers free. Taxes are racist.
You ultra-liberal dialogue options give +1 real and -1 empathy. Oh, sorry. Ultra-liberal dialogue options give +1 real, but overall you get -1 empathy. Thinks he's a hostile or something. Oh, damn. Can I choose not to accept? Didn't realize it would be that bad. Oh no, if I forget as well. Oh no. So, I guess what that means is that I can't forget without losing. Oh my god. I guess I can overcome the empathy. -1 isn't too bad. Well, we'll see how it goes. What's my empathy now? 5. Ah, that bugs me so much. That's bugging me so much, and I only have 1 skill point. Let's talk to this dude. Oh, okay. Let's talk to René.
We are still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
I saw the statue of Philip III.
Ah, yes. King Philip III on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
How should a true king rule?
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Seems to me a leader should take care of his people before himself.
A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
The Carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve.
What about the cocaine?
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
Continue.
You can't even take the responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler?
He asked, obviously annoyed.
That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine, for clarity of vision, to aid in their work. Regnum cocainum, Revaschol's finest years.
Of course. Clarity of vision. Awareness.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Higher realms? Of course. It all makes sense.
I'm surprised electrochemistry isn't having a say. What's this about higher realms?
It's really not. Please, do spare us the cocaine fairy tales.
Yes, indeed. We're not here to investigate the drug trade of centuries past.
Oh, old Philip was...
You can't, that's why...
Of course.
Philip the...
Higher realms. Of course. It all makes sense.
That seems irresponsible behavior.
From what I've seen of the officers of the RCM... But I don't want to get into a debate about drug policies.
Okay, let's talk about something else. I found your guard booth.
Yes. The Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and... money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Hold on, why?
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man who would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, seek it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
So who's working that shift? Your shift?
One. The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday?
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly decorative?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabinier's pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Evrard gets it. Big guys looking after the small and everyone working together. I love it. Such dependency only weakens the men further. Do or die, there is no middle ground. Renee is but one man. We need a program. Get all the elderly back in the job market. Keep folks motivated. Renee should rent out his services, invest the profit, get few more guys, expand and repeat. Wage work is a dead end. There's absolutely nothing wrong with tech collecting. It's my side thing too. Yeah, I feel like all these like political answers are like boring to me. So I'll take this one.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now?
He is not going to become an entrepreneur.
Alright, so a picture of you in there.
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Cool. I feel like the game auto saves at weird times, like it might kind of like be punishing you, trapping you with those autosaves.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat arse of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
Renee, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
Looks delicious. Can I have a bite of that?
I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food. Nothing personal, it's just a principle.
The only one you have.
Please, man.
Believe me, officer, I wish I could help you, but I need this sandwich to keep my blood sugar stable. In my age, you need to pay attention to these things.
Please, friend.
Fuck off! It's mine! Sorry, officer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it in a bad way. But the sandwich is mine. I'm not gonna share it.
When the dissidents come to rape our country, he hides. But try to get a bite of his dear sandwich and he gets claws? We are a special kind of vermin, Gaston.
$14. I have 2, so I need 12. There's no need to try. Tell me what you know about the dead man.
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
Come on, you must have heard something.
No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist. You are both good guys. I can see that.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Respects?
Sounds a bit like you're holding back.
I'm not. I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, Renee? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard.
How do you know Evrard?
Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
Interesting.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years later, when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Are you a union member?
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debarders all know me.
In many ways?
Oh, yes.
So you're not an actual member?
Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Vezavane. Turns the way the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate the socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
Hey. I've been doing that too. What are the little things you do for Everard?
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say.
What kind of things do you write for him?
Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Evrard and I had these long talks where...
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay.
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
You mentioned Jean-Marie Beaulieu.
Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
Oh.
His tone lacks its usual intensity, like he doesn't feel he has the right to speak on the matter.
So you both know her?
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
And then you stole her from me.
Ooh. Easy, fellas.
Oh, officer. It already got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the 3 of us were just learning to walk and talk.
You stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
We were just boys then. This was different. You... No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Officer.
What happened to her?
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage, peaceful. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back, will it now?
Departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met.
Why do you think she was indecisive?
She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married.
Women, right? That's a bit odd.
Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
Maybe that was the plan.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries.
He suddenly remembers you are still there. falls silent and turns away.
Thanks for sharing.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left.
Goodbye. Sometimes it's just interesting talking to the people. Alright, so I can sell the stuff, I think, and make some money. Or, let's see, I can't really... Actually, if I... Come on.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you.
I thought that'd be like a thing in there. Bottles. Are there more bottles today? Yeah. Damn, I'm running out of bottles. There's a trash bin down there. There's a bin down there. Have I not actually rummaged through that one yet? What is that? I forget how much we get of it, like 10p? I mean, the money that Everett was going to give us was like practically nothing. Give us an extra day, that was it. I might as well just find somewhere else to stay if I can, since the game already told us we can in the future. So how... I thought I could look at this thing before. Huh, interesting. I have a few things to sell. Let's see if we can sell.
Hello again. How can I help you?
Let's see if there's anything new here.
Sure thing.
Oh, no.
Sure, man.
I have something to sell.
Let me have a look.
Check
Anything
pockets.
else you're thinking of selling?
Cool. Do I have enough money now? I'll keep this for now. Yes, I do.
Another time, perhaps.
I feel like if I don't pay the money now, I might accidentally use it for something else.
The tear machine your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears.
So there were a bunch of doors I couldn't open previously, but I have the cutter now that I maybe could. I need to talk to these people. Don't really want to. But I've talked to Everard, so maybe Joyce has something new. And of course there's the wall too. Wait, can I only do this at night? Ooh. This classic double-breasted coat suits everyone, including you, and if you ever find yourself battling winds at the helm of a ship, the coat's heavy fabric has got your back, even if the moths have left a few holes in it. Wait, did I have another pair of glasses? Logic Authority. Interesting.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Conceptualization 18. Ah, this is a red check. It cannot be retried. Impossible as well. Well, impossible without high conceptualization. Let's talk to Joyce and then call it there for this session. I tried to call it there for this session a while ago, but let's do this one since we talked to
You're
everyone.
back. Good. What can I help you with?
I talked to the lorryman.
Word has travelled, yes, but nothing of real substance has surfaced yet, I gather. Wild Pines has eyes on the intersection, but not ears.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout. It would give them a read on the entire quarter.
Okay.
It appears we are being monitored every step we take, colleague. Did we have any other business here?
Yes, by the way, I've talked to Everard.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
I didn't.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually, corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Verm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt Verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
And he was all for it too, so you know.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
Do I not have anything to say? Huh. Interesting.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later
Ah.
down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Thank you.
Kingdom of Conscience. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change. It is control over yourself and the world. Exercise it. Look up at the sky, at the dark shapes of the coalition airships hanging there. Ask yourself, is there something sinister in moralism? And then answer, no. God is in his heaven. Everything is normal on earth.
And the bonuses? Ooh. Moralist dialogue options. Heal, +1. Learning careful volition, raised to 5. Learning careful logic, raised to 5. I think they were already, I think volition was already 5, I think. Logic, or 4 at least. And logic now is 5 from 3, I think. Let's check that. Yeah, logic was 3, now 5, and volition 6. Interesting. Because I have 3 points in it. 4 from the psyche. I do have -1 from damage. Is that morale? Is that for all of them actually? No. Oh, but it doesn't tell you. So endurance is physical damage. Volition is morale damage. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, I'll keep it. I'm happy with that. I've put no points into it, but I'm happy with that. Logic's fine as well. And Half-Life is back as well. Half-Life is back. Yeah. Empathies, unfortunately, is down. It was... this one. Ultra liberal dialogue options give +1 real. I need to be like Joyce. I need to remember that actually. Because if I'm not going to use it, then it's a waste. Oh yeah, I should probably do this one as well. Next one. Next skill point I get, I'll put in here. Alright, so we've done that. It's basically going to the Union, to talk to the Union, so we'll head over there. And then call it there. Kim, don't like overtake me, please. We have a roll here. No, don't overtake me. Let's go talk to the Union and then, well, we'll go inside. And then we'll call it there. Let's create a save. We can do it over here. And that will be all for this session. It's been cool to come back. Time slips by when you play this game, really. It's the dialogue, really. It takes so much. You have so many conversations that you just... It takes time. And it just slips away. And I wanted it to stop like half an hour ago, if not more. And I continued. And I've been having fun. So that's really all that matters. Some of the skill check things are kind of annoying though, like the fact that I had high volition, I think, and failed twice for that paperwork, which is that was annoying. And I didn't even need high numbers, like medium numbers was fine. No, I didn't. Yeah, I just needed like a 3 or 4 or something like that, and I couldn't even get that, I think. But it is what it is. It was fun to come back and continue this game. We're staying there right now, and so next up we'll be talking to the Union people, and I'm not quite sure what else. Feels like there's very little to do. And if that's the case, I'll put a point into endurance and see if I can. The annoying thing is that you cannot take points out of the skills you've chosen. That's what bugs me. That's why I've not really put a lot of skill points into that. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll leave it at that for this session. It's been fun. I do tend to play at night and I get really like sleepy and tired whenever I play. It could also be all the talking. But then I don't think I was this tired playing Elden Ring. So it's the whole like storytelling is like there's so much of it. Anyway, we'll come back next time to continue off with the Union, as I mentioned, and I have no idea what else after that. It seems like there's still a lot to do, but paths haven't necessarily opened yet, and there's some stuff I have to come back later at night, for instance, to talk to that smoking guy. Anyway, that's it for me for this session. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.